Young and the Restless 2-week spoilers June 9th to 20th. Nick's shocking downfall and Adam's ruthless revenge. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day before we begin the video. Please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Young and the Restless 2-week spoilers for June 9th to 20th, 2025 see Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, is dealing with a mess and Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, is feeling pretty threatened. Phyllis' wacky plan and Sharon's concerns. Young and the Restless spoilers. Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziade, talks to Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, about healing with Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, and with music. But Phyllis is busy yapping about France and Dumas' her big plan. Daniel thinks pretty much it's just wacky nonsense, but Phyllis insists nobody in town wants to hire her. Daniel thinks Phyllis is desperate, and then she lashes out and says Daniel has no ambition. Phyllis claims she's doing this all for him, but Daniel doesn't want any of it. And then Phyllis says the mystery man is going to beg her to work with him and calls her son Daniel a buzzkill. Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, meanwhile tells Nick she just can't go to France. She's quite worried about Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes. Says her daughter needs her. Sharon thinks Mariah has got some sort of Ian Ward, Ray Wise, related PTSD. Nick's bummed she can't go, and Sharon wants to know why he wants her there. Sharon's being so thirsty about Nick lately, and he gives her a very bland answer that he thinks the trip's going to be drama. The party's going to be drama, and Sharon is somebody who can keep him calm. There's nothing romantic in what he says, but I'm sure she's hearing hearts and flowers. Daniel asks Sharon and Nick to please talk to Phyllis because she's just losing it. Nick isn't optimistic they'll get through to her, but Sharon and Nick do chat with Phyllis on Monday. And of course, Sharon just has to drop the fact that she was Nick's +1 at Nikki Newman's, Melody Thomas Scott, party. Phyllis says she's going to France, and Sharon's probably not pleased about that because Nick's going to France. Mariah's haunting past and Tessa's plea. Young and the Restless drama unfolds. Meanwhile, Tessa is pleading with her wife Mariah to please tell her what happened that has her so upset. But she can't tell Tessa. She's too afraid to. Mariah says it's dangerous, but she opens up a little. Mariah tells Tessa that these thoughts of Ian were haunting her while she was on her business trip, and she got drunk to just kind of shut that all down. And then Mariah starts blaming herself for Ian's wicked deeds, including Heather Stevens' Vale Bloom, death, Lucy Romalotti's, Lily Brooks O'Brien, grief, Sharon being taken, Victor Newman, Eric Braden, being shot. All of that. And then we're going to get a flashback on Monday to Mariah drinking with this older man. I'm going to say he's Ian-esque. He's the right age. He's got this silver hair, all that. She takes his hand and then snaps out of it. Tessa still wants to talk, but Mariah just is freaked out by this flashback. She runs off to Crimson Lights, runs into Daniel, snaps at him, and when Tessa catches up to her, Mariah yells at her wife and says, "Leave me alone." Victor's demands and Audra's deception. Young and the Restless intrigue. Tuesday, June 10th, we've got Victor demanding that Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, play dirty and she do it now. So Victor did get the invites to the party. Audra wanted, but says it's on her to get Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, there. Meanwhile, Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, her ex, is eavesdropping on Audra and Victor. Holden and Damian Kane, Jermaine Rivers, are tested as friends. Now, Holden's basically fired because Dumas told Damian to fire him after he fired Damian. So, he offered to Holden he would try to get him a job at Winters, and he turned Damian down. But I think Holden may be making a demand for him to help get him into that party, because Holden is so super fixated on Audra right now. Also on Tuesday, Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, tells Diane Jenkins, Susan Walters, he thinks they should go ahead and go to the party in France and just see what's up. Turns out she had already added it to their schedule. Diane is 2 steps ahead. Adam's predicament and Chelsea's dilemma. Young and the Restless power plays. On Wednesday, June 11th, Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, is in defense mode about Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson. So, Adam may have run a hit piece on Newman Media against Billy just to appease Victor. Or it could be Sally having to protect Billy from yet another attack from Phyllis. Victor, meanwhile, tells Adam he better follow orders or else. This is ongoing pressure by Victor, ongoing threats that Adam must attack Billy using the media outlet. Victor wants to be Adam's first choice, not Chelsea Lawson Newman, Melissa Claire Egan, and makes that very, very clear. Devin Hamilton, Brighton James, and Abby Newman, Melissa Ordway, and Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, are all at Nate Hastings' Sean Dominic, this week talking. They're all kind of stressed out. It's all about Mystery Man's Friday the 13th shindig. And Chelsea wants advice from Nikki. So Chelsea might be asking Nikki for tips on handling Victor. She may tell her that Adam's being pressured to attack Billy and Chelsea hates it, but Victor won't let up. Nikki is Victor's biggest enabler. I've said this here so much. She's like the only one that could probably influence him to be better, but she always wimps out, and it's really bothering me. Audra's lies and Victor's bargain. Young and the restless twists. Thursday, June 12th. Audra is hiding a couple of things from Nate. And first and foremost, she's going to France to try and play dirty with Kyle. So, she's got to have a cover story. And I'm assuming she's going to lie to Nate, and Audra's going to say that, Victor's demanding that she goes because of their new business. Something like that. Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron, gives Kyle approval, and that could be Claire telling Kyle, "Go ahead and go to that party in France without me." Cole Howard's Jay, Eddie Peck, sick, so she's not going to leave her dad. Obviously, Audra is going to connive up some way to convince Kyle he has to go. Victor drives a hard bargain with Chelsea. Victor may be pushing Chelsea to cooperate at Newman Media and to stop guilt-tripping Adam about doing his job where Billy is concerned. Family drama and recast rumors. Young and the Restless spoilers continue. Friday the 13th, Devin is determined to protect the family and their legacy as the party kicks off. So, there's a leaked photo here. I can show you from some monitors behind the scenes. That's Amanda Sinclair, Miss Hale Morgan, and Lily, with actor Billy Flynn. Based on the intense scene with him and Lily, I'm still back to Kane Ashby recast. We'll find out on Friday on Young and the Restless. Tessa is not going to back down with Phyllis. Looks like she's pressuring her again to spill beans about Daniel. And Christine Williams, Laura Lee Bell, and Danny Romalotti, Michael Damian, are back to Genoa City on Friday the 13th. Daniel runs into his dad and his girlfriend at Crimson Lights, and he's so thrilled to have his one non-crazy parent back the week of June 16th and relationship turmoil. Young and the Restless cliffhangers. Looks like there might be a tragedy at the party. Stay tuned tomorrow for a full video about that because that's a whole video's worth of leaks. Something came out from one of the actors involved. Cole's health worsens. Claire and Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, are extremely worried about him. Looks like he's going downhill fast. Billy Flynn enters with a splash, and I'm guessing he's going to be back to Genoa City after the big party in France. Mariah takes another step away from Tessa, which hurts her wife. Daniel's there to support her, and Daniel's confiding in Tessa about Phyllis is crazy, and Tessa is confiding in Daniel about Mariah's issue. So, there's lots of bonding, and they're getting closer, and that could spell trouble in the future. Sally tries to keep Billy in check when things fly out of control in France. Nick tries to keep Phyllis in check when things fly out of control in France. And Victor is going to be outraged, and he's adding another name to his enemies list. Dumas was already on his enemies list, but he's going to be able to cross it out and write in the guy's real name. The Young and the Restless is setting the stage for 2 weeks of jaw-dropping twists, emotional confrontations, and game-changing power shifts that will leave Genoa City forever changed. From June 9th to June 20th, the Newman family finds itself in complete turmoil as Nick faces a stunning downfall. Adam sharpens his claws for revenge, and several love lives get thrown into unpredictable chaos. Long-held secrets will unravel, power dynamics will shift overnight, and old grudges will come roaring back with devastating force. Fans should brace themselves for a high-stakes 2 weeks filled with betrayal, scheming, heartbreak, and jaw-dropping moments that no one saw coming. Nick Newman has always been known as the family's moral compass, the steady hand who tries to keep the Newmans grounded amid chaos. But in the coming episodes, Nick will face the most stunning crisis of his life. A series of shocking developments will threaten everything he has built, personally and professionally, pushing him into unfamiliar territory. It all begins when a devastating piece of information surfaces, putting Nick under the spotlight and forcing him to answer for decisions he made years ago. As whispers spread throughout Genoa City, Nick's reputation starts to crumble, and allies begin to distance themselves, unsure of how deep the damage truly goes. At Newman Enterprises, whispers of scandal ripple through the corridors, and board members grow uneasy about Nick's ability to lead during the crisis. Meanwhile, Adam Newman sees this as the perfect opening to strike. For months, Adam has been playing the long game, biding his time and carefully analyzing his brother's every move. Now, with Nick vulnerable, Adam's ruthless streak emerges in full force. Determined to seize power and make his brother pay, Adam begins executing a calculated plan to turn Nick's downfall into his own rise. From forging secret alliances to manipulating key players behind the scenes, Adam is relentless in his pursuit of revenge. He knows that striking when Nick is at his weakest could give him everything he's ever wanted: control, power, and finally, respect from Victor. But Adam's revenge is not just about business. This is personal. Deep-seated resentment and years of rivalry boil to the surface, driving Adam to push boundaries that even he hasn't crossed before. Victor Newman watches all of this unfold with his trademark steel-eyed intensity. Though the patriarch loves both of his sons, he understands the ruthless nature of business better than anyone. With a family empire at stake, Victor begins weighing his options carefully. Will he back Nick, whose moral center has always been a steadying force for Newman Enterprises? Or will he side with Adam, whose cunning and aggressiveness could secure the company's dominance? As Victor navigates these treacherous waters, he also begins testing his sons in unexpected ways, setting up scenarios to see who is truly fit to lead. His loyalty will be tested, and his ultimate decision will send shockwaves through the entire Newman family. In the personal realm, Nick also faces heartache as his romantic life is thrown into turmoil. As the scandal grows, those closest to him struggle with whether to support him or protect themselves. A painful betrayal may be looming, one that threatens to break Nick emotionally just as his professional life crumbles. This double blow could push him down a path he's never walked before, possibly leading to darker, more impulsive decisions that surprise everyone around him. Meanwhile, Adam's revenge campaign begins to ripple outward, impacting other key Genoa City players. Sally Spectre finds herself caught in the crossfire as Adam's schemes began affecting her business and personal life. Though Sally has tried to maintain some distance from the ongoing Newman family wars, she's drawn back in as Adam pulls strings that could either elevate her career or destroy it, depending on how she plays her cards. Her loyalty and ambition will be tested like never before, and her choices could have long-term consequences for her relationship with both Adam and Nick. Victoria Newman also plays a significant role during this 2-week stretch. While Nick and Adam battle, Victoria is not content to simply sit on the sidelines. She begins maneuvering strategically, assessing how the chaos could either threaten her own standing or present new opportunities. Known for her calculating approach to business, Victoria starts working behind the scenes to secure her own power base, potentially aligning with surprising allies in the process. Her actions may end up tipping the scales in one brother's favor, or setting herself up as a dark horse candidate for power. Elsewhere in Genoa City, Sharon finds herself pulled into the Newman drama once again. Her bond with Nick has always been deep, even through their many ups and downs. As Nick faces his downfall, Sharon offers support, but she also finds herself questioning how far she's willing to go to help him. Old feelings may resurface during their emotional conversations, potentially reigniting sparks that never fully faded. This could complicate Sharon's own romantic situation and add another layer of emotional complexity to an already tangled web. On the legal front, Michael Baldwin gets drawn into the mess as new allegations and investigations swirl around Nick. His legal expertise will be crucial in navigating the scandal, but even Michael might find himself surprised by how deep this situation goes. Secrets buried for years may resurface, forcing several Genoa City residents to confront uncomfortable truths. Meanwhile, other storylines continue to bubble beneath the surface, setting up explosive summer arcs. Audra Charles and Kyle Abbott's scheming continues to grow more dangerous as they take bigger risks in their pursuit of power and passion. Phyllis Summers keeps stirring the pot in unexpected ways, inserting herself into situations where she can cause the maximum amount of chaos. Billy Abbott watches the Newman power struggle with interest, potentially plotting moves of his own that could shake up the corporate landscape. June 20th approaches. The Young and the Restless promises some major cliffhangers that will leave fans counting the days until the next episodes. Nick's downfall reaches a breaking point, forcing him to make a decision that will either redeem him or seal his fate. Adam's revenge plan kicks into its most dangerous phase, putting multiple people at risk. Victor makes a decision that will shock his entire family, and at least one romantic relationship takes a devastating hit that will reverberate for months to come. These 2 weeks in Genoa City are packed with emotional intensity, corporate intrigue, and personal betrayals that will reshape the landscape of the show. The Newmans are once again at the center of the storm, but this time, the stakes feel higher than ever. Will Nick rise from the ashes of his downfall stronger than before, or will Adam's ruthless revenge finally give him the upper hand he's always craved? One thing is certain. By the time June 20th arrives, nothing will be the same. The Young and the Restless continues to deliver high drama, and these spoilers hint at a storyline that blends family loyalty, corporate warfare, and personal redemption in classic soap opera fashion. Fans won't want to miss a single episode as alliances shift, old wounds are reopened, and the Newman legacy hangs in the balance. As the Newman family's empire trembles under the weight of scandal, the ripples of Nick's downfall and Adam's revenge begin reaching far beyond the walls of Newman Enterprises. In Genoa City, no secret stays buried for long, and no betrayal goes unpunished. These 2 weeks are set to expose long-hidden truths and test loyalties in ways that will change the future for everyone involved. At the heart of the drama, Nick struggles to maintain control over both his public image and his private life. Though he has faced plenty of challenges over the years, this time the stakes are far more personal. Whispers of financial impropriety, questionable decisions, and past mistakes swirl through the press and the boardrooms. His every move is scrutinized as the public begins to doubt his integrity. For someone like Nick, who has always valued honor and loyalty, this is a crushing blow. He tries to put on a strong face for his family and employees, but those closest to him can see the cracks forming. His confidence is shaken, his leadership questioned, and his emotional walls begin to crumble. Meanwhile, Adam relishes every moment of Nick's struggle. He has always felt like the family outsider, constantly fighting for recognition, constantly underestimated. Now, with Nick's reputation hanging by a thread, Adam moves with precision. He makes quiet deals with board members behind Nick's back, subtly undermines him in meetings, and plants seeds of doubt in Victor's mind. He uses his charm, intelligence, and ruthlessness to position himself as the savior Newman Enterprises needs. But underneath the corporate maneuvering lies a deep thirst for personal revenge. Adam doesn't just want power. He wants Nick to feel the sting of betrayal, the same sting Adam has felt countless times before. Victor, of course, sees through many of Adam's manipulations, but he doesn't intervene immediately. Instead, he takes on the role of silent observer, watching his sons wage war like chess pieces on his board. He knows that whoever survives this trial will emerge stronger, and for Victor, strength is everything. In private moments, he reflects on the legacy he's built and what will become of it after he's gone. Will Nick's sense of morality sustain the company in a changing world? Or will Adam's cunning ensure its survival at any cost? The decision looming over Victor is monumental, and it weighs heavily on him, even if he never lets it show. While the Newman men battle, Sharon becomes an unexpected pillar of strength. Her compassion and insight allow her to see beyond the headlines and the scheming. She knows Nick better than anyone and understands his guilt, his sense of responsibility, and his need to protect others even when he's the one in trouble. As they share emotional conversations late at night, old wounds and old feelings resurface. Sharon's presence gives Nick a brief respite from the storm, but it also stirs up questions about their future. Could this shared crisis lead them back toward each other, Or will the pressures of the scandal pull them apart again? In another corner of Genoa City, Sally Spectra faces her own storm. Her professional life is entangled with the Newman family in complicated ways, and as Adam's revenge plot intensifies, Sally finds herself standing at a dangerous crossroads. Adam's manipulations could boost her career if she's willing to play along, but aligning too closely with him could alienate her from Nick and damage her credibility. Sally must carefully navigate this emotional minefield, deciding whether to follow her heart or her ambition. Her decisions during this period could redefine her role in the Newman saga for years to come. Victoria Newman, meanwhile, proves once again that she's no passive observer. As Adam and Nick clash, Victoria begins quietly securing her position. She cultivates key allies, studies the boardroom dynamics, and ensures that no matter which brother falls, she remains standing. Victoria has learned from Victor himself how to play the long game, and she's determined not to let family drama derail her ambitions. She may ultimately tip the scales with one strategic move that changes the entire power structure of Newman Enterprises. Legal drama adds another explosive layer to the unfolding saga. Michael Baldwin digs deeper into the allegations surrounding Nick, uncovering a tangled web of old business deals, rival schemes, and buried secrets. The legal fallout threatens to drag several Genoa City residents into the scandal, some of whom would prefer their names stay far away from any controversy. Michael's findings could either clear Nick's name or deliver the final blow to his career. Meanwhile, Newman Enterprises' rivals watch from the shadows, ready to pounce. Jack Abbott keeps a close eye on the situation, knowing that Newman instability could benefit Jabot in subtle ways. Billy Abbott contemplates strategic moves of his own, always eager to exploit Newman weakness when the opportunity arises. The business world of Genoa City is always ruthless, and no one stays on top forever. As June 20th draws near, the storylines converge into a series of high-tension moments. A shocking boardroom confrontation leaves everyone reeling as Adam makes a bold move that forces Victor's hand. Nick is pushed to make a choice between protecting his legacy or protecting the people he loves. A betrayal from an unexpected source shatters trust and sets up new rivalries that will dominate the summer. And just when it seems like things can't get more complicated, a mysterious figure from the past resurfaces, holding a piece of information that could blow everything wide open. The Young and the Restless is pulling out all the stops, delivering 2 weeks of unforgettable drama that blend family betrayal, corporate warfare, romantic entanglements, and shocking revelations. The Newman family stands on the edge of a cliff, and by the end of this period, someone will fall. The only question is who, and family dominates the front pages and business chatter. The rest of Genoa City is far from quiet. In fact, the scandal surrounding Nick and Adam's ruthless moves begins to set off a chain reaction across the entire canvas, drawing in familiar faces and reigniting rivalries that have been simmering beneath the surface for months. As these 2 explosive weeks unfold, several other storylines heat up, creating a tangled web of love, ambition, and betrayal that perfectly complements the Newman family drama. Summer Newman finds herself in a complicated position as the family crisis deepens. On one hand, she wants to support her father, Nick, and stand by him during his downfall. On the other hand, she's under immense pressure to keep Marchetti stable as whispers about the Newman scandal begin to affect business partnerships and investor confidence. Summer is forced to grow tougher, navigating delicate negotiations and strategic conversations while maintaining her public composure. But behind closed doors, the stress begins to take its toll. Her personal life becomes increasingly tangled as she struggles to keep Kyle Abbott at arm's length. Their connection is undeniable, but with Audra Charles still in the picture, Summer's emotional guard remains up. Kyle and Audra, meanwhile, continue their dangerously flirtatious game. What started as a thrilling partnership built on ambition has slowly turned into a high-stakes gamble. Audra thrives on power and influence, and she sees Kyle as both a useful ally and a potential liability. Their alliance becomes more complicated as they face pressure from all sides, including a few unexpected threats that could expose their secrets. Kyle tries to convince himself that he's fully in control, but Audra's manipulative edge keeps him on his toes. The two share intense, private moments that blur the lines between business and pleasure, leaving both vulnerable in different ways. Phyllis Summers, never one to sit quietly while drama unfolds, decides to stir the pot in spectacular fashion. She watches the Newman downfall with fascination, sensing opportunity. Phyllis has always had a knack for inserting herself where the chaos is loudest, and this time is no different. She begins making calculated moves, subtly planting ideas and pushing people's buttons to create new waves of conflict. Whether it's offering unsolicited advice to Summer, poking at Nick's insecurities, or keeping an eye on Jack's reactions, Phyllis positions herself right in the center of the storm. And as usual, she may end up triggering consequences she didn't fully anticipate. Meanwhile, over at Chancellor Winters, the Newman scandal does not go unnoticed. Lily Winters and Devin Hamilton watch developments carefully, knowing that instability at Newman Enterprises could present strategic advantages. Billy Abbott, always scheming, takes particular interest. He senses that Adam's rise might create openings he can exploit, both professionally and personally. Billy has a complicated history with the Newmans, and any sign of weakness tends to bring out his most cunning side. Whether he chooses to make his move through business channels or through more personal confrontations remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: Billy is paying close attention. In the romantic sphere, Sharon continues to navigate her feelings for Nick as well as her own personal journey. The emotional closeness they share during this crisis could reignite something real, but Sharon is also cautious. She's been down this road before, and she knows how quickly Nick's life can spiral into complicated territory. As the nights get longer and their conversations grow more intimate, she finds herself at a crossroads. Does she open her heart again, or keep the walls up to protect herself? The answer may depend on how Nick handles the next phase of his downfall. Elsewhere, Chancellor finds himself drawn into the drama in unexpected ways. His law enforcement instincts kick in as new legal developments emerge around Nick's situation. There are questions about old contracts, suspicious financial movements, and possibly someone within Newman Enterprises leaking damaging information to the press. Chance begins piecing together the puzzle, but what he uncovers may not just impact Nick. It could implicate multiple people, some of whom he cares deeply about. His investigation brings him closer to several key players, possibly even reigniting old romantic sparks or forming dangerous new alliances. As the June 9th to 20th period nears its climax, tensions escalate across the board. A major corporate event becomes the backdrop for several confrontations. Adam makes a shocking public move that corners Nick in front of investors and family, forcing a reaction that no one expects. Summer clashes with Audra in a tense encounter that lays bare their rivalry in a way that can't be ignored. Phyllis executes one of her signature bold maneuvers, setting off a ripple effect that will lead to new conflicts. Billy positions himself for a strategic play that could shake things up in ways even he doesn't fully anticipate. And Sharon faces an emotional moment of truth as Nick reaches a breaking point. Through it all, Victor remains the watchful patriarch, taking in every move, every betrayal, and every display of strength or weakness. He knows that the Newman legacy is being rewritten in real time, and he's ready to make a decision that will send shockwaves through the family and the business world. As secrets explode, alliances shatter, and power shifts dramatically, the 2-week stretch between June 9th and 20th promises to be one of the most explosive periods Genoa City has seen in years. As the final days of this explosive 2-week period unfold, Genoa City reaches a fever pitch of drama, power plays, and emotional upheaval. The Newmans find themselves at a defining crossroads, while ripple effects touch nearly every family in town. The corporate battles, romantic entanglements, and betrayals all converge into a series of high-stakes moments that leave no one untouched. The showdown between Nick and Adam reaches its boiling point during a pivotal board meeting that will shape Newman Enterprises' future. Nick, still reeling from the fallout of his scandal, enters the room determined to reclaim his dignity and defend his position. Adam, on the other hand, is fully prepared to strike with precision. In front of Victoria, the board, and key stakeholders, Adam unleashes a calculated move that exposes Nick's vulnerabilities while positioning himself as the only viable choice for leadership. His words are sharp, his timing perfect, and his confidence unshakable. Nick pushes back with everything he has, appealing to his track record, his loyalty to the family, and his moral compass. The clash is intense, emotional, and deeply personal. Victor observes the confrontation with his trademark inscrutable expression, but inside, he's assessing every word and every move. For him, this isn't just about who runs the company. It's about who carries the Newman legacy forward. Both sons make compelling cases in their own way. Nick through integrity and history, Adam through ambition and strategic brilliance. As the tension mounts, Victor makes a shocking decision that stuns the entire room. His ruling changes the power structure overnight, setting off waves of reaction that will echo throughout grappling with the consequences. His professional reputation may never fully recover, and his personal life is in tatters. Yet, this could also be the beginning of a redemption arc for him, one that forces him to rebuild from the ground up. Sharon remains by his side as a steady presence, offering emotional support as he contemplates his next move. This crisis may ultimately push Nick to redefine his place in the world, away from the corporate battles that have consumed him for so long. Adam, meanwhile, basks in the glow of his victory, but his revenge may come at a cost. His ruthless tactics earn him new enemies, even among those who supported him. Sally begins questioning whether she can trust him as his darker side emerges more clearly. Victoria quietly sharpens her own strategy, unwilling to let Adam's rise go unchallenged for long. And Victor, though impressed by Adam's cunning, knows better than anyone that unchecked ambition can destroy everything. Adam's moment of triumph may set the stage for his greatest challenge yet. Away from the Newman boardroom, other storylines reach their own climaxes. Summer and Audra's rivalry explodes into a heated confrontation that lays bare their true feelings and ambitions. The professional competition takes on personal undertones, with Kyle caught squarely in the middle. His inability to fully commit to one side threatens to backfire spectacularly, potentially costing him both love and power. Audra's manipulations grow bolder, and Summer finds herself forced to embrace a tougher, more calculating side to keep her footing. Phyllis's scheming yields mixed results. Some of her manipulations succeed in stirring up chaos exactly where she wants it, but others backfire in spectacular fashion, putting her at odds with people she didn't intend to alienate. True to form, Phyllis refuses to back down, even as she finds herself at the center of new conflicts. Her unpredictability ensures she remains a wild card in multiple storylines going forward. Chance's investigation into the legal scandal takes a shocking turn as he uncovers a key piece of evidence that ties back to someone unexpected. The revelation threatens to reopen old wounds and implicate a familiar face in ways that could shake Genoa City's legal and business worlds. Chance must decide how to handle what he's found, follow the law to the letter, or make a more personal choice that could protect someone he cares about. As June 20th arrives, the stage is set for summer fireworks. Victor's decision reshapes the Newman family hierarchy. Nick faces an uncertain future as he considers walking away from the corporate battlefield altogether. Adam, now in a position of power, must prove he can handle it without self-destructing. Victoria, ever the strategist, begins laying the groundwork for her next power play. Sharon's bond with Nick deepens, possibly rekindling a familiar romance. Sally faces difficult questions about where her loyalties lie. Summer and Audra prepare for a fierce, ongoing rivalry that could impact their professional and personal lives for months to come. And Chance's investigation promises to unleash a new wave of legal drama that could entangle multiple families. The Young and the Restless has crafted a thrilling 2-week stretch filled with shocking downfalls, ruthless revenge, strategic power moves, and emotional twists that keep viewers glued to their screens. By the time these 2 weeks conclude, Genoa City will look very different. Loyalties will be tested, relationships will shift, and the Newman legacy will stand on uncertain ground. As summer heats up, fans can expect even more betrayals, romantic complications, and high-stakes drama that only Y&R can deliver. As the dust settles from the shocking Newman boardroom showdown, Genoa City enters a new phase of tension, power plays, and emotional fallout that will define the weeks to come. From June 23rd to July 4th, the Newmans, Abbotts, and their rivals navigate shifting alliances and unexpected betrayals, setting the stage for a scorching summer filled with dangerous secrets and explosive confrontations. Nick Newman begins this new stretch reeling from Victor's decision and the very public nature of his downfall. In private moments, Nick struggles to process how quickly everything changed. Once seen as the steady moral force in the Newman family, he now faces whispers of failure from inside and outside the company. Though wounded, Nick refuses to disappear quietly. Instead, he starts contemplating his next move, a comeback that no one expects. Nick considers launching an independent venture away from the shadow of Newman Enterprises. But as he floats this idea, he realizes that walking away may not be as simple as it sounds. Some family members support his independence, while others view it as betrayal, creating fresh tension in the Newman dynamic. Meanwhile, Adam Newman basks in the early glow of his power grab, enjoying the influence and control he's fought so long to achieve. But wielding power is different from chasing it. Almost immediately, Adam faces resistance from multiple fronts. Board members question his aggressive tactics, employees whisper about the new regime, and Victoria quietly begins rallying allies to undermine him. Adam relishes the fight, but his ruthless edge threatens to alienate those he might actually need to keep his position secure. Even Victor observes closely, ready to intervene if Adam's ambition threatens the company's stability. Victoria, ever the strategist, uses the chaos to her advantage. She's not openly challenging Adam. Not yet, but she begins building her own base of power within Newman Enterprises. She meets privately with key allies, gathers information, and identifies Adam's weak points. Her calm, calculated demeanor masks the fact that she's setting the stage for a major countermove that could bring Adam's reign crashing down faster than anyone expects. On the personal front, Nick's relationship with Sharon deepens as the two spend more time together in the aftermath of the scandal. Sharon becomes his sounding board, grounding him as he navigates uncertainty. Their emotional bond grows stronger, stirring up old romantic sparks. Whether they act on those feelings remains to be seen, but their connection could take a significant step forward during this period. Sally Spectra finds herself at a crossroads. Adam's victory could give her professional opportunities she's dreamed of, but she sees the darker side of his methods more clearly than ever. At the same time, Nick's vulnerability pulls at her emotions. Sally must decide whether to align fully with Adam's vision, risk rekindling something with Nick, or carve out a path that puts her own ambitions first. Her choices during these 2 weeks will shape her storyline for the summer. Summer Newman throws herself fully into Marchetti, determined to keep the company stable amid Newman family turmoil. But the business world is buzzing, and Summer finds herself fending off rumors, skeptical partners, and boardroom vultures circling for weakness. She proves tougher than expected, asserting herself in ways that surprise even Kyle. Her evolution into a sharper, more formidable businesswoman becomes one of the standout developments of this period. Audra Charles continues her strategic maneuvers, balancing her volatile partnership with Kyle and her ambitions at Newman Media. As Adam's leadership takes shape, Audra carefully positions herself to benefit, but she's also not above switching allegiances if the winds change. Her scenes are filled with quiet manipulations and sharp instincts, as she tests Kyle's loyalty and gauges how far she can push him before the partnership fractures. Phyllis Summers remains a wild card, dipping into various storylines with her signature mix of mischief and strategy. She senses that the Newman family upheaval creates openings she can exploit, whether through meddling in Summer's affairs or stirring trouble between Kyle and Audra. Phyllis thrives in chaos, and she intends to make the most of it. Meanwhile, Chance Chancellor's investigation takes a shocking turn when a new piece of evidence surfaces, evidence that suggests someone inside Newman Enterprises deliberately leaked damaging information about Nick to the press. The discovery points to a suspect no one expected, raising the stakes dramatically. Chance must decide whether to confront the individual quietly or let the legal system take its course, knowing the fallout could ignite another family war. As July 4th approaches, Several storylines converge in a series of explosive confrontations. Adam faces his first real test as a leader when a high-profile deal goes sideways, forcing him to rely on people he doesn't fully trust. Nick's independent plans take shape, but a betrayal threatens to derail everything before it begins. Victoria makes a bold, behind-the-scenes move that could shift the power balance. Summer and Audra's rivalry flares up in public, and Chance's investigation threatens to expose a betrayal that could blow the Newman family apart again.